are you? Hi, Rita and Marie, excuse me. Hi, good morning. How's everybody doing this wonderful morning? It's Friday. Some of you ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. Get fired from a job on your day off. What you doing stealing boxes, Craig? Trying to build a clubhouse? Oh, yes. It's good. You're good. Drink coffee. I got my coffee. I drink it out of a straw because ever since I've gotten my tooth pulled, it just seems better to drink my coffee that way. I never thought I would, but now I do. You'll be in and out. In and out of here, in and out of consciousness, in and out of sleep, in and out of coherency. Look, all the angel numbers are showing up in here. A77777. It started out with 444. I know, I'm just messing with you, Barb. We started off with 444, and now I just saw 777777 come in. And if you guys are wondering about these angel numbers, I am your girl to share about what they are, because there are no such thing as coincidences in this life. And angels and spirits and all that fun stuff, nobody tells you, or at least nobody told me when I first started out. It's not going to be like Ghost, okay? You're not going to have a Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze moment. And if you do, you're probably in trouble. But back to what I was saying is that you're not going to just be sitting there and all of a sudden a ghost comes like Casper in front of you. It's like, hey, how you doing? You want to go hang out and watch some movies? No, that's not what's going to happen. And I'm telling you this because you're like, of course that's not going to happen. And for you, those of you who don't believe in ghosts and angels, well, you're on the wrong live, by the way. Because that's what we believe in around here. But second of all, they're just not gonna, it takes too much energy for that to happen. So spirit talks to us in subtle ways. Angels are very subtle, and people are like, how do you know the difference between a good ghost and a bad ghost? A good spirit, a bad spirit? Well, I'm pretty versed in all spirits because I've had a lot of different experiences in my life, but I know I even know the difference of when I'm talking, when my angels are around versus, say, my spirit team, like my ancestors and my passed over loved ones. And that is because when my angels are around, it feels like a warm, fuzzy blanket. I get goosebumps. I feel like I'm having an angelic hug. I sometimes feel petted on the top of my head, and it just feels all around awesome. And angels also do really subtle things, like they send you numbers, and they send you, one time I was laying on my bed, and I saw this piece of dust like come out of the ceiling, right? And this was at my other place. And this was like a huge, like I looked up and it looked like a piece of dust came out of the vent. And I was like, wow, that's huge. I'm going to have to clean that up, because it's going to fall on my bed. I never found it. I saw how big it was coming down. It never landed. I don't know. I also find feathers inside my house. I found a little tiny baby brown feather in my window the other day, and it was crazy because feathers, usually it's no big deal if you find them outside. They straight up are inside my house, and that's how I know the angels are with me. And one time our cat got a hold of this girl's keychain, and it had green feathers on it. And it was crazy. I woke up one morning and it had all these green feathers laid out on the steps going up. Now, mind you, the cat tore it apart, but if you know anything about spirit and feathers and all that, green is not a common one. White, brown, black, never seen a green one. And it was crazy that the angels had the cat get a hold of it because there's a message in that, because that's when I was going through a rough time with these roommates and stuff. So I'll be back. I mess back. I see them a lot. 111, 1111, 111, 555, 444. So yeah, back to what I was saying about signs and angels. So this is how your angels are letting you know they're with you, because they're not going to incarnate in front of you. And if they do, like I said, you're in trouble. Like if you see an angel, people have seen angels and like say a car wreck, and all of a sudden there was a man who picked up the car and nobody saw him and he disappeared, but he saved the baby and the mom. And I got chills right now just talking about the angels. I'm talking about Archangel Michael. If you ever see something like that where a crazy like adrenaline thing happened and one man picked up a semi, yeah, that's Archangel Michael, because he's the warrior angel. And I got to stop for a minute because I just got chills like on my left side. Whew. That was awesome. But they love to talk to you in numbers. So 444 is angels are around you. Now, angel numbers have different meanings, okay? So you have to find the meaning, that you have to know what you were thinking about at the moment that came across, or you're not gonna understand it. And also, once you learn the meanings of your numbers, they stop appearing. You get a new set of numbers that appear. When you're starting on a spiritual awakening, you will see numbers. Ones are common, fives are common. 5 is a number of change. So 555 means big changes are coming. And it's almost like the death card in tarot. These changes are coming and they're irreversible, but they're necessary. And if they're coming and they're forced, or they feel like they're forced, it's because you really need to change. And angels can't make you do anything, but they can sure put things in your environment to encourage you to change. And once you get enough of badness happen, usually you're like, okay, angels, I maybe need to listen to you, because maybe there was something about that. So 7 is a number of faith. 777 is a lucky number, right? If you go to the casino, it's a number of luck, even though there's really no such thing as luck. But that's a different conversation. But it means that you're divinely, favored, and you're on your mission. You're aligning with your mission, because all these numbers are about a spiritual awakening and starting to align with your higher self and your mission. 7s, if you keep seeing those, it's about having faith. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. Thank you. Aw, thank you, C. Pender 71. I appreciate that. Thanks for the follow too. So when you see, or if you're starting to see, because when I started my spiritual awakening, I saw 7-11 in the morning and at night for 2 weeks. Every day I was somewhere by a clock where I happened to look at the clock at that time. That's what started me on this whole thing, because that's why we see these repetitive numbers. Are called synchronicities. And the reason why we see them is because that's how your brain picks up something's different in your environment. It's a pattern. So when your brain sees something repetitively, that's how it remembers. Or it's like, hey, this doesn't really belong here. This is different than the others. Let's pay attention to this thing. And that's how they catch our attention. So they love our electronics too. They're always going to come through your electronics. When I first started doing podcasting, I sat with a few narcissists that they weren't right. They knew what they were doing, and they were just really wasting my time to like pick my brain. But when it came down to putting my podcast out, they did the least effort, or they just straight up didn't put it out, because that wasn't their intention of getting me there. Their intention of getting me there was to pick my brain and to fish, but not necessarily because they liked me, right? And I'm a little naive sometimes, because it's not that I'm trusting of everyone, so I give everyone a chance, and until you show me otherwise, everybody gets that chance. I just give a clean slate to everyone. Now, what you do with your chance is your issue, because at the moment I smell inconsistency, I smell toxicity, or I smell betrayal, traitorism, guess who's going to cut you off as quickly as I came into your life? And then I'm going to be like, shame on you for doing that to your angel, because when I come into your life, it's usually divinely sent. I'm just saying, like, I didn't understand this at first, and it sounded really conceited and cocky, but it's not. I am an answer to prayers, and for the past 5 years, I have proved that I have met strangers all over the place, that I show up in their life and I do these things out of kindness of my heart. And I'm like, why are you even doing these things? You don't even know this person. And I get such an overwhelming feeling of I have to help this person. And so after doing this 9 million times, you start understanding, hey, may not make sense to everyone else, but I am obviously divinely guided, and I'm an answer to prayers, and I show up in people's lives literally to say something, to enlighten you, to give you confirmation, validation, to make you stop. Maybe you were going to make a really bad decision that was going to have some really bad consequences. Maybe I showed up in your life to help just make you feel better, so you changed that thought and you didn't go through with it. There's a lot of reasons. I'm like Monica, if you've ever seen off of Touched by an Angel. If you've ever seen that show, this is that girl. So you're welcome. I see 111 and 1111 a lot. So hi, love bug. How are you? So yes, okay, so I'm going to tell you 111 and 1111 is definitely a confirmation that you are on a spiritual awakening. 1 is a number of beginning. 0 starts with 0, right? 0 is, because if you do numerology, that's where it comes in too. But numerology and then angel numbers were introduced by Doreen Virtue in the 90s. And unfortunately, she didn't stay grounded in her practices. She's still out there practicing, but I don't know. This is my theory, because a lot of people don't like her now because she was esoteric. And then, like, I feel like she connected to something so powerful that she literally ran back to her religion. Like, that's how, because she wasn't, I don't know what she did, but she did something. Because I know if you see something, there's still fear if you're not completely. That's why it's important to do self-care and clearing of yourself, because you can get some pretty nasty spirits out there. You can run into something and have an experience. It's so mind-boggling. If you've ever seen The Good Place, where Kristen Bell, he's like, you can only do this for like 8 seconds, because past that, your brain is going to take like a year to come back. And she goes in there, watches it, and then comes back and is like, yeah, that can happen when you're connecting with stuff. That's why angels only let us know what we need to know, because our brain does not have the capacity to understand stuff or to make sense of it. And there's some stuff we're not meant to make sense of. So sometimes we're not meant to know, and we just need to let it go and just be in the present moment, because if we're not, the angels can't do their job. Because say like it's time of death. If you knew that, what would you be doing for the rest of the time? You'd be focused on, oh my gosh, it's going to happen on this day, this time. That's why the angels don't always tell us stuff. So when you have people saying, I don't know, they're not showing me a clear message. It has to do with free will and free choice, because your thoughts are things, and your free will also, if somebody gives you a message, that's why they say it's not set in stone. Because if you get a message and you don't really like the angel message, or you don't like the outcome that they're showing you, guess what? You have time to change it, but it depends on, are you going to keep going the way you're going, or are you going to act on your guidance and change it through your thoughts and put actions through your thoughts. So if angels are literally coming by saying you really got to work on your self-love, I know it sounds cliche, but if you don't, you're going to keep attracting all these gremlins, and you're going to keep attracting all these not very low vibe experiences, and we don't want that for you. We want good. So that's why they keep sending these messages of work on your self-love, not because the angels have anything better to do or they want to nag you about self-love. They have so many other things that they would love to chat with you about than self-love. They just know humans can't seem to get that together. It's one of our faults. Like, that's part of the experience of being a human here. We're our spirits in having a human being experience. Okay, if we were just supposed to have the spirit experience, and we would be in a different realm, but we're here. And so that's when I heard that a long time ago. That's what helped me start embracing this journey. It's like life is a video game for me. And I'm trying to level up because that's what I came down here. Because the realm down here, the environment, this is the only place we can come to learn these experiences, to feel human experiences. There's no other. That's why we live on Earth and not Mars. That's why all the other planets and stuff in the realms don't have like the great environment, I guess. And this is like the perfect environment for you to come down here, and that's how it got set up. So once you start doing that, you start embracing your lessons and know that even though this lesson sucks to go through, if I go through it, I'm going to level up. And when I level up, I'm going to stop experiencing these low vibe, crappy experiences. That I have the power to change that, to go into really living my life, really having fun and experiencing what this earth and fun, because it's not all about just living experiences of trauma and sadness. I spent a good time on that, but also I guess that was my focus and my choice. But now that I'm learning that I have other options to do than that, even though that happened, I don't have to keep replaying that. I finally got permission at 41 years old to not have to replay all that trauma and not be my trauma. And I want to give you guys that confirmation too. If you're living that today make that choice to not live it anymore, because you are not your past. You don't have to live it anymore. Now you just got to heal it. And the more that you start healing, where it's not a gaping wound, it's healed. It's going to still be there, but it's not going to be in the forefront, with a banner marching to the beat of everything. Yes, I do love myself. Awesome. Takes a lot of time for us to say we love ourselves. Took me a lot of time to look this girl in the eye and say, I love you. I love you. Really hard to do that. But if you can do that, guess what? You and you gotta be in love with each other first. Once you can do that, then you can start loving others fully. Because we're like half loving people when we don't love ourselves first. Because when we start loving other people before ourselves, that's usually because we have some things we don't want to deal with, and we feel more fulfilled when we start loving other people, because we get that joy and that fulfillment, right? Because codependency. Yeah, it's a whole vicious cycle, people pleasing, fun stuff. A lot of years, but it can happen. So if you guys are, depending on where you're at in your journey, know the only way is up. The only way is up. And I tell people this all the time. If you want to stop experiencing so much sadness, stop putting your head down. Stop looking down. I always tell you guys that you can't climb your mind, or you have to climb the mountain of darkness in your mind, right? Or the darkness will just hitch a ride, because the darkness has a glass ceiling. It can only rise so far. The way it gets up to the top is because it manipulates and it hitches a ride, right? And it gets you to take it up there. Angels, though, can go, the light workers can go both. We have duality, both light and dark. Okay, so know that you're more powerful than the darkness, and you just got to shine your light. Turn that on. Turn off and you'll turn off the darkness. You have that power, because really, to be honest, the darkness is not that powerful. It's just really manipulative, and that's its special powerful tool, is to make you fall for their lies and deceit. But once you start learning what lies and deceit look like, and you start immediately learning these patterns, fool me once, it's shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times. Yeah, there is no 3 times. The third time is usually, now I just chose to ignore the first 2 warning signs. I was codependent. I have to remind myself I'm not anymore. Yes. And that, and when you're in a traumatic relationship too, you know, even just growing up, not even being married, but that's where it starts at. And then that's where we start picking our people. But, you do become a little codependent when you're with your person, you know, that's your person. You, even if it's not an abusive relationship, say that you were in a relationship and you were together for 20 years and then your person passed. You're going to end up being a little codependent in that 20 years if you were close, because, you know, you do everything together. And that's why people are so devastated when their person passes, because was their other half of them. So it's okay to be a little codependent, but it's about balance. It's about knowing it, being aware of it. And when you start doing it, it's kind of like girls who, younger girls, they all, you know, guys, they get attached to a guy right away, and then they're blowing up their phone every 5 seconds. What are you doing? Where are you at? Who are you with? What you eating? And they're just like, man, give me a moment. And it becomes smothering. So anyways, I love how I just went off all the way there back to 111. We're going to get back to those numbers of ones and beginnings. So 0 is a number of infinity. 1 is a number of beginnings, and it's new beginnings. And Spirit is trying to give you a chance to also release the past and start anew, but you have to make space. So you need to start releasing these patterns and these beliefs that no longer serve you. Because if you look in the middle of belief, there's the word lie. Okay, because some of our beliefs are lies. So bye Barb. Gotta go. Is 1 feeling shame about what happened? I'm not sure. We'll be doing readings. I do more of I go back and forth. So this is all about angelic vibes for the week. So if I can answer your questions, I will. But for right now, I am talking about angel numbers. So thanks, Blinks. I appreciate the roses. I will definitely get back to you on that. But yeah, I definitely have to get my mind in that capacity for doing readings. And right now I have a few things that I came to my my live with. I also want to remind you guys that I just put out a new YouTube reading on my Jess Intuitive Angel Vibes with a Z. It's on my YouTube channel. Go in my link in my bio and you can press the little play button that goes directly to my YouTube. If you could do me a favor and subscribe to it, you'll hit the bell, because you'll get reminded for new videos that come out. But I just put out a monthly abundance reading, things that you should focus on for your abundance for the month of September. And I know a lot of it is about, it's about working with your sacral chakra, and it's also about working with your third eye chakra is really important. And so you guys can go get the full reading, but it's about visualizing. So your abundance this month in September, I don't feel like a huge windfall was coming, but because this month is about setting it up. So I feel like next month's going to be super abundant. This month is about getting all the things in place to get that superabundance next month. So it's a very creative, very, and it's funny because orange is the color of your sacral. September is fall, fall is orange. So really work with those orange colors, get your pumpkins, get surrounded by some orange colored therapy. This is going to help you with releasing those emotions out of your sacral. And I always say, work on doing some hip movements because we store our trauma in our hips. So you can go in a circle like this and you activate your hips. It's activating I think it's the parasympathetic nerve, and it starts releasing those things. So there's baby steps you can do if you're not ready to tackle all your trauma. I hear that, and I see a lot of people out there, they get upset when because some healers don't maybe know how to. It's because we know that we can help you, and we don't want to just have you sit there and be sad, but then we know that some people aren't ready to heal, right? But no, when people try to take it with a grain of salt, when somebody comes and they're a real healer and they try to share with you some information, it's because they simply want to try to help you feel better. So, sometimes it's better just to write down things with people. Thank you so much for the roses. You're awesome. I'll go ahead and answer your question real quick because it's since I read it, it's disrupting my thought process for what I want to read here. So let's see. Angels, thank you for blessing this reading, making sure it's specific in the light and full of blessings for everyone involved. If you could please help me out with a message for Miss Blinks 98, since she was so kind enough to send me some roses. And I just would like to know, is Mon feeling shame for what happened? Unfortunately, no. And I'm hearing narcissist, and I'm hearing, there's no compromise. So he's very uncompromising. And it's very important for you to sit with that. And I'm hearing about balance. So you need to understand, for him, have mercy and compassion with yourself. And also know that his actions do not define you. So you need to understand what he does is his own karma, but what you allow to happen, what you continue to allow to happen after you're aware of something, is your karma. So it's really important for you, if you guys are together or talking or whatever, really focus on compromise. And this may be you compromising to understand that he's got a lot of growing up to do and learning. And he may not acknowledge it, accept it, even apologize for it right now. But in the end, that's not important. It's important what you do with it, what you do with this, what you do with your ability to forgive. Because that's why we talk about forgiveness. It's not about forgiving the person. It's about forgiving the situation and releasing it, because ultimately you're just walking around with drinking poison if you don't release resentment or release something, unforgiveness for someone. I always forgive. I don't forget, though. It gets filed in a, hey, you're not going to do that to me again file. So when somebody comes up and I'm like, wait a minute, this seems vaguely familiar. Hold on, I got to go to my archives. Oh, there it is. Yeah. This file happened in 1995, and you're vaguely, scarily the same as that. So I'm gonna have to just dismiss you and goodbye. Protect my energy. You gotta go. It's that simple. And I am, I think it's my age and the stuff that I've went through. But the older you get, the more I understand why people in their 60, 65 have no tolerance for idiots or dumbness. They just, yeah, I understand it, because you're just like, I can't do it. I've already been through this a million times. So let's see one more message for you, Blinks. And see, the angels want you to release. You're not releasing this. You gotta, I always say the truth will set you free. Sometimes the truth hurts, but ultimately it's the truth and it's not a lie. And you can accept that because you can work with it, because it may take time for you to, understand it, but at least you can know that's what the real truth is, and there's no question. So this is about releasing, though. Let go and focus on what is positive and uplifting. So your angels say that this no longer serves you, and they're asking you to please release this. And you've got a throat chalk broke. See, I can't even talk. Throat chakra block. Hello, Simply Steffi. Hold on one second and I'll get you a card, okay? I gotta release this throat block chakra block. Yeah. I am, the one talent I do have is that I can speak backwards, not even trying to. I am a dyslexic speaker. I can switch words while talking. And when I talk to police officers, I have to really tell myself, you call them a police officer, not a police officer, because they don't really appreciate when you call them Mr. Police Officer. That's not going to win you any bonus points. Definitely this goes with the release. Archangel Michael wants you to know that he is with you, protecting you, giving you courage. And he's, do a cord cutting with him. Archangel Michael will help you do a cord cutting and help you release this, because I feel like this is not a good connection for you. And it's about connecting it. Whoa. All right, Simply Steffi. This one fell out for you. Perfect timing. Darn it. Divine timing ordained by the angels is never too late or too early. That's awesome. And I feel like there's she's in a blue dress because it's about it's about walking in your truth and your courage. That's what the yellow. There's some enlightenment for you. So I feel like there's some new things definitely coming. But you need to kind of embrace a new way of thinking and make space for those, and know that time is on your side. And it's always a good time to change. They're saying, now let's see what they're talking about with this perfect timing. What is the perfect timing for? So I feel like it's about a decision maybe that you're, or maybe like something you want to do. It's a confirmation right here. Let's see, what is this perfect timing confirming? And they have two messages here, quiet time and breaking free. These are both reversed. So they definitely, and it is Friday. So I definitely feel like the angels are telling you, you need to, one, maybe go out for the weekend because it is almost the end of fall. You need to go out in nature somewhere and enjoy a day of just being out in nature. If you can go to a forest, if you can go to the prairie, just go out somewhere where it's you, nature, and a stream preferably. And do some meditation. Release some of those thoughts on your mind, because you're currently wrapped into You feel tied down to all of your your daily responsibilities. And I feel like you're burning your candle at both ends. And you're also letting your problems or the issues that you're dealing with, I feel like they're overwhelming you versus you rising above them. Angels are asking you to have compassion and mercy with yourself while you're trying to, and no, you can't do it all. I really feel like you try to do so much, and this is why you're like burnt out and you're tired. This is, okay, yes, very true. I'm like, let me know if this is coming, because it's flowing over here, and this waterfall of thought. I'm hearing a waterfall of thought. Okay, maybe you have maybe you're like maybe neurodivergent, or you just have a rapid pace of thought all the time and you can't shut your thoughts off. That's why it's really important to get out to nature, and distance yourself from technology, even this weekend. I feel like that, because I made a point this morning. Have you noticed how many kids have glasses? Have we ever? And then they have a commercial now for the glasses place that says, come get our glasses. They block out 40% of the screen, stuff, that the Blu-ray or whatever. And I was like, man, that's why our kids are blind. Okay, because they're straight up, we're in front of technology all the time. It's not good for us. If you're scrolling on TikTok, that's why they came out with the thing. All of a sudden you'll run into it. Hey, it's time to take Headspace, because it's true. It can trigger a migraine if you're on here for too long. And the more that you're on it, the more that your eyes get weak. Because I have good vision. My mom has good vision. But now that she's hit over 50, and she's almost to her 70s now, but like in her 50s, she started having to wear glasses. Now she wears glasses every day, and it's because she's worked in an office since like 1985, okay? And being in front of that computer screen has ruined her vision. Do things like get out in nature. We weren't meant to be humans. I'm the only reason why I am on here, really be honest, in my social media addiction is because it's more of not an addiction. Go get yourself a business. I guarantee you won't have a problem being on social media anymore. If you are a social media business person, you won't have addiction to being on social media, because it's like work every time you get on here. And I think that's where I used to be addicted to, where I was like scrolling through. But then 2018, when I started my business, now I had to post so much and interact so much that I was like, I got to the point I didn't even want to do it no more. I was like, and I really would just be like, nope, it's not gonna happen. So it's very important to balance things. Do things differently. Don't tell yourself every day, I have to do this and I have to do that. You write the list of and you put it from most important to least important. And you get your most important things done, and your least important things can wait for another day. But stop trying to pack everything in, because there's 24 hours of the day, and most of us sleep for 6 hours of those. And if you're working for 20 hours a day, we're not meant to do that either. Give yourself a break. It's not going to get done any faster. Just like if you're riding and you're trying to get to the light. Have you ever seen that person get all crazy behind you, get in front of you, cut you off? All to just wind up at the red light, sitting together, awkwardly looking at each other, going, hi, how are you? Yeah. Remember the person you almost killed to get to the same place here? And here we are, both together. I drove the regular speed limit and I didn't try to knock anyone off the road. You tried to do all this craziness, and guess where you are? At the same stoplight with me. It's a rabbit in the turtle, guys. You're not going to get any faster just because you look really busy or you put a lot of things on your plate. And I really feel like somebody really needs to hear that, because Another response of trauma is an ultra-independent response, which is you book yourself so crazy to keep yourself busy, to keep yourself off of taking care of healing that stuff or thinking about stuff. So I just feel LOL, I just deactivated all of my social medias. Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like everything is hitting me at once. Yes. That's awesome. Well, it's not awesome. I think that's awesome that it resonated. It is a perfect time this weekend. You need to really focus on a self-care weekend. It's very important to just go out even for a day, even if it's for 30 minutes, an hour. You'll thank yourself later, because also, no, this is a time that I really am grateful for as many nice days as we have out there, because we all know when fall and winter hits, seasonal depression is a thing, okay? And it stinks to be stuck in our house, but then it's cold, okay? So be mindful of that. I'm trying to be as mindful as I can of that right now, because I know it's going to go away. The warmth, that the birds chirping, the flowers growing, the winter will come in just like it always does. But prepare your mind for that, because if you do get hit with seasonal depression, start preparing yourself early. Start having things available for you. Make sure you're putting plants in your house, guys. That is super important. It brings in oxygen. It cleans out the negative energy in your house. Put little containers of pink Himalayan salt around your house, and make sure you change it out about every week. But when you do that, you're actually clearing out the energy in your house. So if you have a house that you've had a lot of arguing in, it's really important to go clean that, because the reason why your house feels so icky is because that energy is like stayed on your stuff. And so if you have a lot of soft surfaces, you need to start clearing that out. Light an incense. You can light sage. The smoke actually clears that negative energy out. So there's a lot of different ways. You're welcome. I'm glad that resonated. And if you guys get a reading and you want to go give me a review, I have my reviews on Google. I actually need some Google reviews because they're all on Facebook, and I'm trying to transfer. I don't know why that's the hardest thing, to get people to go to one thing to the other. But if you would like to go give your grounded a review, you can go click on the link too, and it'll send you over there. I think I'm going to switch that up for I'm going to start putting my Google link in there, because I have like 50 Facebook reviews, but nobody likes that anymore. So hi, how are you? How are things, my MIU 1188? I love that. Thank you for the follows. So I want to, before I get off track again. Well, I don't get off track. In my world, I'm not getting off track, because it's just spirit coming over here, having a good time. We're freestyling over here, because there's not a script that I have to read. But I got an overwhelming feeling this morning. I tend to, because COVID knocked me off a little bit. And plus, I was at the very beginning of my learning stage. So just because I've been doing this for 5 years, I haven't consistently been doing it for 5 years. Like, I kind of went in and out during COVID. So I would give myself a break. And even though I've been open for 5 years or 4 years, 2 years of it was me consistently really, really doing it. And so I look back on my YouTube channel that I have, and I was like, what do I want to, because at first I was just trying to get set up and let people know who I am. But now I'm past that point, and now I'm going to start really focusing on my podcast and Your Angels Are Talking, Are You Listening podcast. I saw that, and the first ones I got interviews, so it was really easy for me to make the podcast. But then the second one, I kind of went in this thing like, I don't know, I got this cold feet and I couldn't talk in front of the camera. And so it was like nails. It was like dragging my feet through hot coals trying to get myself to talk and record. And I got a few episodes up there, but I was like, man, why am I not doing this? So this morning it came overwhelming that now I'm at this stage of my spiritual awakening, and everything I'm doing in my healing, I'm going to start focusing more on doing my podcast, because the thing about toxic relationships is I go back and forth about talking about toxic relationships and spirituality, because I think it's because sometimes if you've been in a toxic relationship, Peachka actually made a point yesterday on her live when she was doing a reading, and she said people that are in traumatic, it's hard to do trauma when you've done it because it can still re-trigger you. And I didn't realize that's what was happening at the beginning, and I was going back and forth of being re-triggered. Now that I've understood that, you don't have to just be in trauma to know how trauma works. Most people that are in trauma that know how it works end up not, they kind of, some end up healing, some end up don't. So that's not always the basis of if it's a good healer or not. But it totally makes sense. So I'm good watching the rain from outside. How about you? I am doing perfect this morning. I feel really good. I feel alive. I feel that spirit woke me up. I doing my live. I put out a abundance reading yesterday, and I feel pretty excited. For the dark days that I've had in my life, it's really nice to get up and just have the days that you can say this is an awesome day. Yeah, I love it. So, oh, thank you. So that's great to know. I want to share with you a couple of inserts from my book called The World According to Mr. Rogers. Important things to remember, and this is by Fred Rogers and Mr. Rogers himself. And he, he's on the PBS. He's the one, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, that guy. But he was actually a very brilliant guy. He wasn't just a PBS, like he actually was very smart and very, he had much more to offer the world than just, how to change your sweaters and change your shoes. So I want to share this with you. These are just little inserts that he made in this book. So this is page 116. It's interesting, Spirit opened it up to 116 because that is an angel number. 117, 17 is definitely an angel number. So 117 is an angel number too. It came to me ever so slowly that the best way to know the truth was to begin trusting what my inner truth was and trying to share it, not right away, only after I had worked hard at trying to understand it. The great poet Rainier Maria Rilke, Rilke, wrote, "Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart and learn to love the questions themselves." I was here a few days ago. I asked about my ex, but I completely forgot what you said about her. Yep, I do remember that, and I'm pretty good about sometimes it takes me a minute, but when you popped up, I know exactly. It's funny. Some people I know exactly, and some people I'm like, you gotta refresh my memory a little bit. That one, it was definitely a toxic relationship. This one, well, it was a karmic relationship that I feel like you guys got together and it became toxic because it was ultimately a trauma bonded relationship that you guys have found a commonality of one of your traumas, whether it's like having bad parents or having addiction, whatever it is that the commonality that you bonded over, that's how you guys are together. And you also wrote this, you made this agreement in a previous life that you would learn these lessons together. And you guys have previous lives together. So, but the karmic partners are specifically come in to teach you a lesson. It's not going to be the Romeo and Juliet ending of romance and love. It's more of the Romeo and Juliet ending of it doesn't work out and both are unhappy. And in Romeo and Juliet, they both drink poison and it doesn't work out. They both pass. So I don't know why that's such a romantic story to people. Now that I've really truly looked at it, I'm like, oh, I don't want a Romeo and Juliet connection. I want Alex Trebek. That man, like, I want someone like that. That man, when he died, he's the Jeopardy guy, right? He died in his backyard doing what he loved and writing like his memoir or something like the day of his passing. Okay, like that's the kind of person that I want. I want someone on my level who wants to go do stuff. And it's not all about the romance. So sometimes when we're younger, we get caught up on the romance aspect. And if we don't truly understand what love is versus toxic love, then we get that confused and we get attached to each other, unfortunately. So, and then we fall in false love, and then we have to learn that lesson, and it's all kinds of, they sacrifice their lives for their love. Yes, they did, but they also did this because their parents couldn't get along, and they said, y'all can't be together. So they're like, we're going to be together in spirit and die. I personally just, because I'm a toxic relationship coach, see, I used to believe in that story. And like, oh, they sacrifice themselves. But now I'm looking at it like, screw my parents. I'm going to go run off with my dude and we're going to go live happily ever after. Classic Italian story, yes. And unfortunately, when you start going on the spiritual awakening and you start taking apart pieces, you don't want to talk to me because I'm that person who will enlighten you on all these stories that we've been told to base our love on. And if you wonder why the world has such toxic love, is because we put our faith in and think that stories like this are what love is supposed to be. And dying is not what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to live. And we need to let go of people. Toxic family members. Because I'm telling you guys, toxic family members parenting has been happening since 1700. Since the days of since the days of before, the dinosaurs. It's been happening. Toxic parenting has been happening. And it's really sad that we stick our nose in our kids' business so much. We're not dating that person. I don't care. Like, okay, why am I going to tell my daughter, oh, absolutely not. You can't be with that person because I don't like them. Ultimately, that person's only going to show up to your place on holidays and special events and funerals, okay? Because how many in-laws really show up all the time if you don't like them? Why we gotta die? I'm telling you, I'm like the kidnap victim. You couldn't kidnap me because I would ask too many questions and be like, I can't be a ride or die either because why I gotta die? Where are we going? Where are we riding to? Yeah, see, I'm not that person. It does not invoke romance into me to tell me that I'm gonna... Romeo, see, this is what would have happened. If I was that person, we're like, we're going to die. We're going to drink this poison and we're going to go live together in eternity. Hopefully you drink that poison first because I might have what am I doing here? Does this guy really mean what he says? See, and I've had so many toxic relationships that I wouldn't trust. I would trust that if I'd be like, you drink it first. Because I want to make sure you're really going to do that. Because I've been gaslighted a couple of lifetimes before, and I drank that poison, and guess what? He did it. And there I went, dying. I'm sorry. These are the things that people need to know, and these are the things you're going to get from a Pisces. So you think she's probably not going to reach out to me again, but that's what I told you. I told you yes, she might reach out to you, but it's a toxic karmic relationship. So you need to look at it that way. You're still caught in the days of love and the fog of you don't want it to be over. So therefore because if someone's toxic and not good for you, why do you want them to come back to do that thing to you and hurt you more? Because if they're not changed, because if separation happens, it's not because spirit doesn't want you to be with your person. They don't want you to be with the wrong person. They don't want you to block out your true chance at love. So if you sit here and you keep asking, why me? Why did you take this from me? Just know, I'm gonna give you this little thing from someone who's done that before. Why me? Why did you take that person? God one day said, oh, okay, you keep telling me, why me, poor you. I took this person out of your life. I'm going to put him back in your life. I'm going to bring him back, and it's going to be hot and heavy just like you wanted it. Plot twist. It's not going to work out because now they're going to come back. They're either going to give you an STD. You're going to have to learn from that lesson. Now you got an extra special gift that you get to carry around for the rest of your lifetime. Or they're going to come back. You're going to get that. They're going to be with someone else. And they're going to get you in a car wreck and you're going to be paralyzed for the rest of your life. And they're going to leave you while you're in the hospital because they were a toxic person, not your person, don't care. They loved you, but they don't love you that much. They love themselves more. And, this is too much for me to handle. And I'm just telling you, this is a scenario. Thank you so much for the roses. This is what I really keep going on about toxic. This is what I've learned. When you keep dabbling in something that is not meant for you and not release it, not let go, let God, and I let go, I let God, I release, I let go, I let God. If you don't do that and you keep trying to, because your thought is what pulls people into your reality, by the way. This is a magnet. We are connected psychically, okay? And we have cords connecting each other. And you're pulling that person in. The more you think about them, you're pulling them in. Now, if it's not divinely guided and they're not supposed to come in, it's going to be a lot of chaos attached to it. And you're going to regret it later. You may not regret it in the moment because it feels it feels good, okay? I understand it. I am the queen of toxic. I understand that feels good. There's some hot guys out there that I've been like, I'm not going to touch you with a 5-foot pole. Better give me a 50-foot pole because I already know. I just got a message yesterday about toxic love saying, you know your type. You know your toxic love story. You know the one that 5 seconds, you're like, don't talk to me. Because I already know you're like my kryptonite. I can't withhold myself. Animal magnetism is going to take over. And that's why I just don't put myself in that situation anymore because I know where my limits are and I know certain people that I can't hold it back. I can talk all I want. When I get in front of them, yeah, okay, whatever you say, I'll do it. Yeah. And I know I got to work on that. So I don't reconnect with my toxicness. And you're only doing that because you've convinced yourself that you're perfect person. This came as a specific message. If you're struggling with love, thoughts, or things, we attract our person and like attracts like, right? Most of us have convinced ourselves that our perfect person does not even exist. Therefore, if they don't exist, you're only telling yourself this is the only option I have for love. And if I don't reconnect back with this, I'm done. I'm never going to have love again. And that's what we tell ourselves. Yes, she did love herself a lot. So I'm going to just, and I'm not picky on you. I'm going into like spirits coming in. And this is my own personal experiences of I've had 2 guys stand me up on Valentine's Day. At my house, they told me I'm gonna come by. They didn't even give me the courtesy, and this is like where I want to let you know that messing with toxic love will get your heart broke. I wasn't in love with these people, but these 2 things stand out in my mind clearly, and that's why I'll take myself over a guy any day, because this is the pain that keeps me from dabbling in that toxic. Because one day my first, like when I was 17, I was goo goo gaga over this guy. I wasn't in love, but I was like, ooh, it was just toxic all over the place, right? And I was single, it didn't matter. But this guy had bad energy, and he ended up bringing a lot of bad experiences because of his energy, not mine. And he got me in trouble, and guess what? At the end, he was nowhere to be found and left me holding the bag for some stuff that was bad. And it taught me a lesson, but he also was my first experience of getting stood up on Valentine's, and I'm there and I'm waiting and I'm like, hey, where you at? Oh, I'm coming by. I'm coming through. Stop ghosting people. Stop ghosting people. It's the worst thing. Be a man. Be a woman. Stop ghosting people. Okay? Especially on a Valentine's Day, because they straight up told me, I'm coming. And I went and bought chocolate strawberries because I was 17. I was really excited. Could have hung out with a million other people that day, by the way, because I'm not, I know people. But this person specifically said, I'm coming, I'm on my way, all day long, never showed up. Just kept ghosting me. And then I repeated that same lesson in 2017 was special. That's when I was going through my divorce and everything, and I met this guy, and he didn't tell me. This was like my fun year of being single. It was not fun. I did not enjoy it. He didn't tell me about his person, right? Like, I wouldn't even went there, but he was like, started coming up with this conspiracy theory because I was a medical assistant, and started telling me that I knew his girl and that his girl was a nurse, and that telling me the truth. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, whoa. And that's how it ended. But I told him, come over. And this is why I don't celebrate Valentine's anymore. Because these 2 lame people that weren't even loves of my life, but it just put like a bitter taste. Like, why you gotta do that? I was like, come over. Okay, I'm coming over. Bought him some chocolates. Guess who never came over? But kept telling me they were coming over. So I tell you guys this simply because I want to let you know that I'm not embarrassed of, why you gotta be embarrassed of? I had a guy one time tell me he was gonna come pick me up for a date. This was even worse. This was when I was on the road, before I was even on a spiritual awakening, before I even met my husband. And this is why I don't like dating. This is probably why I've been in like just a relationship, because it's safer for me. Because this guy called me up and this is when I was on sales crew, and he said, we're going to go on a date. And I was like, all right. I actually got dressed up in a nice like gown, guys, like one that you would go to a nice expensive fondue restaurant in. I didn't just get dressed up in some jeans and a t-shirt and say, let's go. I actually got dressed up, did my hair. It was the most humiliating experience because I got to sit there. He never showed up either. And I guess I'm having a fun time sharing my fun love experiences. So if you guys have had this happen, know that it's not just you. It's okay, it happens. And don't mess with toxic love. Listen to your signs. And if stuff like that happens, take it as a learning lesson. Don't just keep going through it. It's about learning self-love. It's about being there for yourself. Thanks for the advice. Unfortunately, I have to go. See you later. No problem. I'm just going to tell you, I do relationship readings all day long. And I want to help people get to to their person so they don't have to experience these heartbreaks. I want you to experience love. And it's about listening to and learning from the lessons. So I always tell people, don't try to draw back in your old person. You're just going there because out of convenience and comfortability, not because it's good for you. If that person comes back, yeah, that person might come back, but you're not going to get the reconciliation that you think. So ultimately, yes, you will connect back with her in the future, but it's not going to be what you think. It's not going to work out the way you think. And I'm just letting you know that. That doesn't sound fun, but I'm letting you know that because when you prepare yourself for stuff, you don't get your heart broke as quickly. And if I, that's why I don't get as mad if you tell me stuff and I'm prepared for what I'm entering. If I walk into something blind and I'm thinking one thing and then this is actually happening and then I know other people know about it and then everybody's laughing about me, yeah, that's a bad day. Don't be around me that day. Don't be the person doing that to me either. So, could you tell me if Brian and I will move to his town? Let's see what the angels have to say. I'll do a little reading, little Mr. Rogers, and definitely go check out my abundance reading on my YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. Because if you guys are in here connecting with these readings, you'll definitely connect with those. It's all about energy. So, Jess Intuitive Angel Vibes, the link's in the bio. And you guys can help me get over 100 because I'm at like 69 right now. And I really would like to start being a big girl, considered to be a real YouTube channel. And you have to have more than 100 people. You need to have, a few. Well, I'm hearing two things. There's two things right now. Remain positive and be assertive. So, one is about your building. I feel like you're manifesting. I am a medium, but can't read myself. I fully understand that. Angels are saying to be assertive. So don't get distracted, and don't get distracted in the bad what ifs. Like sometimes we get caught up in the negative what ifs. Get caught up in the positive what ifs. So what if we move together in it and the possibilities, don't try not to bring in the bad things, as angels are saying. Right now though, I don't feel like it's going to happen like, tomorrow. It will. I feel like it could happen, but right now they're saying get more information. Yeah, so really important coming from a fellow light worker here, because I do teach law of attraction, and I'm actually creating, I'm going to get my course put out there. I literally have one more video to fix, and it's going to be on, it'll be on, I think, Thinkific, the online course. Ask, believe, receive. Law of attraction, like attracts like. When you start thinking about the bad what ifs, you might as well just open up and start receiving them, because that's all you're bringing into you. You're worried about a flat tire happening. Guess what? You just put that out there that it's going to happen. So you need to visualize a positive and write it down. Write down the positive and don't focus on the bad things, because the angels got you. If you ask your angels and your spirit guides to help you, they're not going to let the negatives, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen for you. So release the fear on that and know that your angels are going to help you. You need to be assertive in your thoughts and actually building it, because you can manifest this tomorrow if you wanted it for next week, but you need to also consider divine timing and get yourself prepared. You're moving in with another human being. That's different energy. You're a medium. You're a spiritual person. You are an empath. You feel people's feelings. You're going to have to start thinking this in your mind about about stuff. He is moving back to his town. We've lived together for 15 months. Okay. Well, then you're going to have to, but it's still being mindful. Okay, so you've already lived together for 15 months, but I think that's one thing. Okay. Because I'm like, why did I just say that? Because you're also picking up on his insecurities. There you go. There you go. And I don't want to be without him. Well, then you don't need to think that way. Tell yourself you will be with him. And what is the solution for you guys being together? If he's moving back to his town, why is he moving back to his town? And is he making you a priority? Because ultimately, if you don't want to be without him, then that's just living in scarcity. And that's a little bit of codependency there of if he moves away, because you're gonna have to walk down this, because I feel like you're picking up his insecurities and you're combining them with yours. And ultimately, if you keep thinking this way, you're gonna manifest the desire, not a desired ending that you want. You need to start focusing on being assertive in your thoughts and know that that's just a darkness messing with you, trying to make you worry. If you're connecting with your angels and your spirit team, that's where you put your faith in. You don't put your faith in the fear, because now you're just letting the darkness guide you down the rabbit hole. Working his son, he's a custody battle with his ex-wife. So yeah, I feel a lot of emotions that you guys need to communicate to, and you guys need to have a really heart-to-heart, because ultimately there's some insecurities coming up about a lot of things. And I feel like you guys need to be on the same page, because even if you move there together with him, if you're really worried about being without him, you could move there. And if you're not strong in your thoughts and your faith, then you're going to end up having it where, what if you move there and then, it doesn't work out because she's nosy. So you need to protect your energy and know that you have control of this. You can control your environment, and you need to not worry about her and not worry about if she's going to ruin any of this. Any of that custody stuff is gonna, because what's meant to be will always be. And no human can mess it up for you. Now, you might be going through a learning experience, but don't give anybody the power. And that's what you're doing. If you're worried about moving down there and you're worried about all these things happening, you're just manifesting. That's what's going to happen. He says, I have to build a foundation before I think about moving there. Yes. So as a foundation, as in a job. So like, he wants you to build a foundation. Like he didn't just say, honey, we're moving to my hometown. I guess I'm a little, he isn't perfect. He has cheated. He drinks, but okay. Right there, my friend, this is what I was just talking about, a toxic relationship. You're going to have to review this, because you said he is cheated, he drinks, but he's a good man. Yes, he is a good man, but he is a toxic lover for you. And right now, this is a very toxic connection that you're having. And and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that you are really afraid of going there, and then he's going to be around his people, and they're not your people, and you're going to end up getting the end of the stick, the short end of the stick. And I don't feel like you feel supported either. So I'm going to tell you this, and I'm just going to tell you this because I'm a toxic relationship coach, and I'm obviously connecting with spirit, and people show up to me in front of me for a reason. You really need to sit down and write a tolerations list, my friend, because I feel like this whole thing of the option of moving back is almost Spirit's way of helping you release this, or you really need to like kind of observe is this what you really want? Is this what you're built for? Is this what you truly deserve? Because if someone cheats, they're usually a chronic cheater. I'm telling you this because I've been cheated on since I was 14, and I've had somebody look me in my eyes, not even flinch, and say, I love you. I never cheated. Why would I do that? And I've had that said to me so many times, and literally picked up a phone, redialed the number, and had some broad tell me, yeah, he was just hanging out here with me. Meanwhile, I've had girls come over to my house telling me, because I was trying to be cool. I was 17 and like trying to be like the cool girlfriend. And so I'd be nice to all the girls that came over, and my boyfriend was bringing all his broads over that he was getting with. And I didn't know that. And I'm over there serving them drinks and snacks. One girl did get beat up for that, because that was a really low move. Like, you not only cheated, you brought them all over. And one time he was going to bring one on a camping trip, and we were in a little Mazda 2-seater car. And this girl is about 300 pounds. And he told me on our 2-hour drive to the mountains that I was going to sit in the middle, not a seat. I was going to sit in this little, like in the back, but it was like scrunched up like that. Meanwhile, this 300-pound bra was, I don't have anything against big girls, but he was cheating on her with me. And I was just a little mad that I was like, you're going to put that girl in our car, and I'm going to sit back here squashed. And we got in a huge thing, and guess who didn't? I ended up going with my brother. I hopped in the car with my brother at that time. I was like, bye, because I was really young, and I sent him on his way. Oh, he is, and I don't care. I want to be number one. Why do you? Okay. I can't do competitions. There's no competition. I am going to be number one. You're either going to be with me or you're not going to be with me. This is how I live in my world. I don't do toxic love. I don't do competition. I'm telling you, I have beaten up so many girls when I was between the age of 14 to the age of 18 because of my ex being dirty to me. When I was 16 and I was pregnant, I opened up the door to have him kissing her in my front yard in his car. And he also was the reason why I lost my child, because I was so stressed out. And he was cheating on me the whole time, and I didn't feel supported and a lot of other things. But that was another thing that happened. And that girl got her just due. And that was the last girl that I ever messed with. I was like, after that, I got in a fight with that girl 3 times. That's how like much animosity we had against each other. And the 3rd time I said, I'm done with you and I'm done fighting. I'm done fighting to keep my man, because he ain't my man and he don't need to be my man. If I have to put hands on somebody and you made me do it, not mine. You're not my guy. Get out of my life. You are toxic. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, my friend. You're going to have to really review your statements, because you're saying it's not competition. They can't match you. This is just a straight up toxic relationship. And angels are putting this in front of you right now to say you have a choice to either go and disconnect from this and actually connect back with you and have your chance at a true person that's going to truly love you, or stay in the toxicity and it's going to be more of, you're going to get more of the same with this guy. So this is the red flag. This is your enlightenment moment. And that's why the angels had you come over here with me to let you know this is your moment. You can either choose to be with them, or you can choose to take your self-respect and keep on walking. It's all right. I'll be fine. Don't worry about this heart of mine. Take your love and hit the road. Yeah, that song. Nothing. You're gonna break my heart anyway, so just leave the pieces when you go. Jody Messina. listen to Jody Messina, Leave the Pieces when you go. And I know I can't sing, but when I start hearing these songs in my head, I sing them to you because I don't care. I want you to go hear that song because that has got a message for you. Whew. Girl, you gotta get, I love you and the angels love you. And don't give your power to that man. Like 15 months, I want to let you know that the number 15 in the tarot card is the devil card. The devil card is all about manipulation. It's all about not being able to, it's about being taken over by all the low vibration energy of the darkness. When you think of Satan, what do you think of? You think of manipulation, lies, deceit, shallow, all those negative energies that you think of when you think of the devil. That's what the devil card's trying to show you. The number 15 is actually what we're doing an angel's number live this morning. The number 15 is actually the number connected to materialism, being under that, like being a puppeteer, basically, not being able to rise up and stand in your power. Because on the devil card, the two people have a chain around their neck, but they can take that chain off. It's not tight, it's loose. But it's about breaking addictions, breaking the chains to addictions. Very important because, and 5, okay, if you reduce the number 15, it goes to 6 because 5 plus 1 is 6, right? 6 is a number of relationships. It's more important to have a relationship with yourself first, because you can't truly love another till you start really loving and making yourself a priority. Maybe you can't truly fully love yourself. I'm not saying you can't have love out there, but if you want the real true love, the undying love, where the 90-year-old people that are holding hands and they die together, that kind of love, if you want some real love, I don't know what society has done with our thinking of, I still don't understand it. Like, I just don't understand how this world, like, it used to be like a lot of people got divorced, but it's like nobody does relationships anymore, and everybody's just icky and sticking their thing in anything, and people are letting their thing get, I don't know, it's just, when did we become heathens, guys? Just because we have certain body parts does not mean we need to go around and touchy and pokey and no. Why can't we just exist as humans and do things like talk about magicals? Sorry, this is one of my pet peeves. Good morning, Shell Bell. Good morning, Bright Soul. This is one of my pet peeves, is that, like, because I get so irritated that I'm a girl and I'm not ugly, but I'm not flirtatious, and I'm almost on the borderline of being like a church lady, if you want to call that, because I'm really on the border of, like, you know, I'm a little sassy and fun, and I might be a little inappropriate, but you're not going to get that much out of me, you know what I mean? Because I don't vibe that way, and certain things really do, like, I'm not going to get offended where I'm going to go off, but I will just be like, yeah, fade into the darkness. I don't want that no more. Yeah. I think that's why I'm such a, I connect so much with being a toxic relationship coach, because I want to let you guys know it doesn't have to be nasty and gross like it is. Like, I want to bring back the times. Has there ever been a time? Like, people say the 50s. I don't know. The 50s were pretty scary too. Because not all that was true love just because Leave It to Beaver was on, okay? There was some pretty raunchy stuff going on behind the scenes. And that's why we're having such a mass awakening, guys. It's because this is not how we were meant to be. Like, this is just not... Yeah, the number 15 was part of the reading for August too. That's crazy. 15, 27, 28, and 11 are the numbers for, September. The reading that I just put on YouTube. And you guys look up the angel number 15. Are you a victim of materialism? Are you a victim of addiction, codependency? Know that you can break those chains, but you need to tell Beelzebub and Satan and whoever you call him to go kick rocks. Tell that gremlin and his demons and his goblins to get going and get off. Okay, because they're only hanging around because it's you have allowed them in. Because once I start seeing a nastiness in my energy and I start seeing like certain perversions just start showing up around me, I'm like, what gargoyle, what demons hanging around me, because they do it to irritate me. Sometimes I'll turn on Pluto, which I really think we need to have a whole thing, Pluto TV on Roku. If you have a kid, you need to be very careful what your kid is seeing on that Pluto Roku. Thank you so much. Thank you for those. That is awesome. I love it. Thank you. You need to be very careful what's on the Roku, because I turned it on and when we were kids and we used to see Skinamax, we called it Skinamax, we got to see a little boobie or something. Yeah. I'm seeing full frontal nudity, guys. Like, it bothered me. Go check out your Pluto. I'm telling you, don't just put your kid willy-nilly in front of Pluto. They've got some stuff. They've taken like every movie from the 80s, 70s, that like all the Beeline movies that didn't make it, and they're on replay. Sometimes I'm turning and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even just seeing a butt. Like in the 90s, we saw a butt and we're like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. They're straight up the whole thing. I tried to watch Precious the other day and I'm mad because I bought the movie. I had to turn it off because why is it when we make movies about traumas, why do we have to make it so lifelike? There is no reason in the world that we need to recreate a scene so much that you are crying because you think it's actually happening. And then if you're a trauma survivor, you're like, oh my God. And then you go into this whole thing. How is that actress doing that? And then you just traumatize me. I literally got so traumatized. I walked out, shut the door, and my guy had to turn off the VCR. It was that bad. And I sucked because I know it's a good movie, but that's how sensitive I am to energies like that. I can't watch certain stuff. Because if I do, I'll be sad for the rest of the day. I literally, the little itty bitty part that it started on at the beginning of the movie, if you've seen this, I'm not even going to repeat it because it's just, but when I saw it, the itty bitty part, it took me probably a week of telling the angels every time that wanted to replay in my mind, nope. Don't you dare put that in my brain, because I know it's not my angels, it's the darkness messing with me. So I'm telling you guys this because the darkness isn't just gonna come like on those movies, just like angels aren't just gonna appear in front of you. Darkness is not gonna show up with horns and teeth and fangs and attack you like a vampire, okay? Darkness is gonna show up tall, dark, and handsome. Darkness is going to show up in that toxic relationship. Darkness is going to come in when you don't stand in your power and you let somebody talk you into something. Darkness is manipulative and it always comes out looking beautiful. The only way you distinguish whether or not it is something from the light or something from the dark is because Satan can recreate everything that God has made in its likeness, but you can't make the real deal. Always remember that. Only the creator can create. Satan can replicate. You really need to know that. So sometimes when you're looking at something, you're like, this looks so good, and you know it's not good for you. Look a little closer, and then a little closer, and then a little closer. and see if it isn't really truly bad for you and toxic. There's this movie, it's a fairy, like Grimm's fairy tale or something. I can't remember, but it's like a fairy tale movie, and they're in a forest, right? And these witches have kidnapped the kids in the forest. And they're sitting at this table, and they're like, got all this food, this buffet of food, kind of like on Peter Pan, where the Lost Boys are sitting. They've got all this food in front of them, right? They're eating all this decadent cake and food and yumminess, and they're like, you want some? And the other kid comes up on him because he's not under the witch's spell. And he looks over, and these kids are his brothers and sisters are eating all this cake, but when he blinks a little bit and he looks and he's like, don't eat that. They're eating worms. They're eating maggots. They're eating grossness, but they're under this spell, and they're like, this is the most beautiful. Oh my God, this is to die for. This is awesome. That's how the darkness works in your life. It manipulates you. It puts a mask on. But the darkness also know. That's why you got to pay attention and bring it and start looking a little deeper. Stop looking on just the surface. Look inside somebody. You can feel when it's right or when it's wrong. But no, that's how the darkness can't wear a mask forever. And that's why toxic comes over to me and tries to hang out and tries to manipulate me for a second. But then it gets really irritated with me. I irritate people's demons. So it's funny. People try to come over. They look at me. They're like, oh, you look like this. I'm going to get over on you. You're gullible. Then they don't. Well, you missed your mark totally, because you shouldn't look on the surface, because people will surprise you. And I surprise everyone every time. So when people come over here with bad intentions trying to do stuff, they get the surprise of their lifetime. And it's great because I come into people's life as a lesson. And if any of you trolls or haters out there, if I've come into your life as a lesson, don't go picking on people, okay? Because I'm a lesson or a blessing. I always say people come into your life as a lesson, a blessing, or both, okay? But ultimately, everybody's in your life for a reason. You got to figure out, is that a good reason or a bad reason? Or is it a self-serving reason? Because if you're self-serving and you don't care about me, that is fully fine. Do what you like. Don't come over here with me, though. And don't come bring bad intentions, because just like I told my daughter, don't lie to me. I am a human lie detector. If I don't even try to find out, guys. Seriously. Anybody who's lied to me, I've never tried to figure it out. I'm like, yeah, they lied to me, they didn't lie to me, whatever. I'll be sitting there minding my own business, and all of a sudden, you get busted out on your lie, and I'm just looking at it, and it's usually in front of that person, and it's like, well, this is awkward. Oh, this is an interesting message today. If you guys didn't catch the beginning of this, I was talking about angel numbers. That's why I'm talking about the number 15. And the reading that I put on my YouTube, the number 15 came out in that too. This is because it's about relationship, which is the number 6, relationship with yourself. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And if you don't stand for yourself, my biggest red flag is when you tell me I'm selfish because I'm protecting my energy. Yeah, we're done. We're not talking no more. Because clearly you're in the bad intentions people that I'm still sorting through, because not everybody comes and says, hey, I got bad intentions. They're like, hey, I'm your friend. Hey, bestie. Hey, what's going on? Hey, I like you. You want to hang out? You're my favorite person. Mm-hmm. Am I still your favorite person after I tell you the truth? That's like my little test. If I tell you the truth about yourself and you get mad at me, but you asked for the truth, or I just simply told you something that was the truth about how I felt and you got mad at me, or you make me defend myself, that is also another indication that I don't need to be in this relationship. You got to learn your triggers. You got to learn your traumas. You got to learn what you're tolerating. Because a lot of us are tolerating a bunch of unnecessary BS. And once you take the initiative to stop tolerating it and stop get out of that fear and stop sitting there in that fear of, I can't do anything, you're going to get more. It's going to just rain down like it's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. That song's coming in my head. Awesome. I got that stuck in your head. Oh, definitely. It's Friday. I feel like there's some self-care weekends that need to definitely be in place for some people. So yes, Lucifer was the morning star. Your energy is amazing today. Thank you. I feel really charged up. Like I was really excited. I'm about to do my podcast because I don't know. I've went through all this like battle and now like smoke's clearing and I've got clarity, and this is awesome when I start feeling this way because this is when my best stuff comes, and the connection to spirit is like point. I was going to tell you, when people say I'm spiritual, I say, yes, that's nice. You know, Satan was also an angel as well. So what kind of spiritual are we talking about here? I love that meme. That's my favorite. But isn't that the sign of a true friend, someone who will call me on my BS? Yes, that is a true sign of a true friend. But someone who gets mad at you. Okay, so I'll give you an example, because like I was making friends with this person and we had to call it quits because I started noticing little red flags. Now, my first thing is that I text you. Now, she said that I'm a bad friend. I don't know how to text back all the time. And I was like, it's okay, you know, we'll learn together. But I texted her and then I noticed I'm the only one texting her. And then I noticed when she texts me, well, when she responds to my text, it takes her almost all day because I'm not her priority at all. Because I know people who will literally look at their phone and go, yeah, that's not important right now. I'll get to that when I want to. I don't like being followed. If I'm your friend, I shouldn't fall in that category. Second of all, when I did text her, I did get things back like, I can't look at my phone and deal with your message right now, you know, because I'm like, hey, how you doing? How's life going? A friendly, you know, little tiny message. I'm with my friends, my fam bam, and I can't pay attention to you right now. Like, that's red flag number 900. And then when it came down to, I had to tell my person, I gave it a couple weeks because I've always been accused of overreacting my whole life. So now before I bring something to someone's attention, I have the facts, I have my examples, I have it all put together. So, because that's how you got to do when you're battling with the narcissist, which I didn't think was. But I found out she was a narcissist because only narcissists react this way. And when I'm telling her something about how you've been disrespectful to me and I don't appreciate it, and I was getting upset because I've been holding this back for 2 weeks too. So the more you hold something back, the more it just comes out wrong. And also spirit makes me come out with it. I can't hold it back. So it finally came out, and she told me how I'm just triangulating all the bad energy of my followers onto her, and that my feelings weren't valid. They were, I don't know. Apparently to her, my feelings weren't valid, and I needed to stop being upset, and I needed to do this, and I needed to do that. No, I'll take responsibility. This is my fault. I shouldn't trigger you after you told me I'm triggering you, and now I'm getting mad at you because now you're triggered and you're upset, and now you're not making sense. And if I start not making sense, know that I've checked out of the conversation because I'm triggered. If you're talking to someone and they're not making sense, just stop. And this person just kept poking at me. So I started getting triggered because at this point, I'm feeling like I'm talking to a bad ex-boyfriend. So that's how I know when I'm not talking to my true friend, because my true friends, 2 of them are in spirit with me right now. They were my best friends, and they did call me on my BS. Every friend that I've ever had has called me on my BS. I'm a Pisces. I need that. I don't know everything, and I know that I have a Virgo rising moon. I need to be put in check. But first of all, I have to respect you. Second of all, we have to have some kind of history of like why I respect you. Like we've made that friendship. You didn't just come over, tell me I was dumb. And she told me to straighten my crown. Now, ladies, I know we love to tell people to straighten their crowns, but when somebody is in a triggered trauma moment, don't tell someone to stop acting like an a-hole and to straighten their crown. That is not an appropriate time for that, because what happened is when she told me that, I went more triggered because now I'm already in my trauma and I'm feeling like 1996 Albuquerque. 14 years old, and I'm ready to just go and handle some business. I'm ready to get on a flight and fly over to you now. Like I'm that. And that's where people don't understand. Spiritual people, we're humans too. And if we have trauma, we're doing our own thing. Stop poking the bear. Stop messing. I have that video. She's the reason why I made that video of stop making fun of positive people. Go check out that. It's about the vibrational scale. Stop making fun of, because the lion inside of me is sleeping. It's not dead. And it's there to protect me, just like your ego is there to protect you. But I'm not going to live in my ego. I've lived in my ego most of my life. And that's where you become toxic, because you're so scared of everything, and trauma puts you into that ego because you're in fight or flight. It's the only reason why you're living in your ego. Now I'm not living in my ego. Now I'm very, very, very rooted to the ground. If I could have a conversation with my narcissist ex and actually not flip out and actually sound coherent and actually make a point where I got stopped being messed with, I know I'm stepping into my power. So, I think social media has a hand in what we tell people and how we act, but I know how to be a friend. I know I'm a good friend. I know it's give and take, and I know that you're not always going to agree with each other, because that's the beauty of friendships. And you are going to get into your arguments and you're going to hate each other at points. I had with my best friend, Georgia, we would get mad at each other. And she lived right behind me. And one time I got mad at her and I turned off the TV. And she ended up leaving and going home. And we're like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. And then a week later, we were talking again. Those are the friendships I miss. But I have been starting to make new friendships, and I know I'm getting around my people. I have a habit of being too nice to the wrong people. Exactly, my friend. That's what I was just going to say. Because see, we're starting to make friends. I know how to make friends with people. And I started beating myself up. Why can't I have friends? Well, because you need to raise your vibration, first of all, because you keep attracting all these low vibration gremlins who are not on your vibration. And if you're a spiritual person, we're vibrating pretty high if we're talking to the angels. Okay, the angels, that's when you hear that loud piercing sound, that loud tone in your ear, that's your angels talking to you. If it's high vibrational, that's your angels doing a download. If it's low, it's usually something that you really need to pay attention to. It's your spirit team trying to get you to get your attention. And I'm seeing feathers float outside. That's really cool. So yeah, definitely I'm learning, if you can't be high vibrational and that's fine, but you can't be my best friend either. And we have to we have to respect each other. And if I tell you I don't like something, don't keep doing that thing that I don't like, because that irritates me. When I tell people, I know I'm walking around with all these triggered traumas. People aren't going to know your stuff, but I do tell certain people certain things in certain situations, because one time I was at the Air Force Academy when I was working as a medical assistant, and we had to do training for suicide training, and we had to learn, and I ended up walking out of the training because I was triggered, because I have personal experience with losing a friend to that. And I had to explain, this is my trauma. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to watch your video. I just can't personally talk about this issue. And it depends on what days. That's where it's very important to manage your energy. Manage your energy and release people that aren't vibing with you. It's okay. It's not a matter of good or bad. Hi, Morgan. It's not a matter of good or bad. When we don't vibe, when we're not vibing on the same page, separation is supposed to happen, because the universe is not going to allow things that, if you're vibrating on this level and this level, you can't reach this level if you aren't going up. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to attract stuff that's on your level. You're going to hear the stuff on this level. And if you're opening up your spiritual hearing, you'll be able to hear the stuff on this level, and you'll eventually be able to move up. Wow. See, your cousin, Kim, unalived herself in her heart. Wow. You can't be in that conversation either. So yes, hi, Morgan. Oh my gosh, I did water meditation today and saw 3 different birds and 1 feather. Birds of a feather flock together too. I always hear that when it's like I have these, maybe she's here in spirit with you. Kim could, because when I start talking about stuff, it's because they're here with us. And you definitely have had a lot of family members coming in since you've been showing up to my lives. So I want to show you this card that just popped in my brain. It's going to be like the last one, right? Individuality. You see all the different birds? It says every person has their own personalized study plan in this Earth School. So this is about building your nest. And you can see the butterflies in there too. You got the blue bird for courage and strength, and that's your throat chakra. You got the green bird here as a symbol of your heart. You got the purple bird here as a symbol of your crown, and then you got the red one here as a symbol of your root chakra. And then you can see a mixture of green and purple here. This is about healing, especially your third eye and your crown chakra. And know that we all agreed to a certain plan and certain lessons and certain people to be with on this earth when we came down here. I'm seeing going, okay, look, they're all going in different directions. Do you see that? It's like a circle, and they're all like their family. It's like your circle, your tribe of people, but you all have different ways, different paths that you're going. See, they're all flying a different way. So you gotta go on your path. You gotta do what brings joy and happiness to your heart, and what brings you beauty. This is about feeling safe and secure and leading with your heart. Now, you consult your mind, obviously, because our heart can get us in trouble sometimes if we just listen to our heart, because that empathy comes over. But check in with your heart and your mind, but don't just make logical decisions every day. You need to start putting some faith into your heart that it may work, it may not. But ultimately, it's about doing what your heart desires, because this world's all about having experiences. It's very important to have experiences or you'll be bored. And if you're not having experiences and you're just living unhappiness and lessons and all that, it's not going to be fun. Hi, like fine wine. How are you? So definitely a message for you. Fly off on your own path, Shell Bell. You're a woman of my own heart. Since I'm never going to forget that you are like literally the other half of me. You have my same birthday, same rising sign, everything. So, all right, somebody needs to hear this. Right path and trust. And this also goes, yes, like fine wine, I will definitely give you a message here in just a second. Here is a message that somebody needs to know, though. Right action and right path and trust. So right action is aparigraha, aparigraha, literally means let everything that wants to go and everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. See those chains right there? It's about breaking free from the chains, and birds are a really big theme here because birds signify freedom. Freedom of the soul. See how she's blue? She's it's about opening up to your truth of yourself and your faith in it. Well, actually, it's like a green, but it is about opening up to your faith in yourself. But it's about healing and combining it because it's like a turquoise. Thank you, Barbara, for the rose. I appreciate it. So definitely I'm seeing that you need to heal some things. You definitely need to release some things out of your soul, but break the ties that bind. And this is the Divine Abundance Oracle card deck. And it is by Tasha Silver. And you can get these on Amazon. But it's called the Divine Abundance Oracle deck. And I love these because I love working with pictures of animals because I'm really big into spirit animals. And so when you're reading oracle cards, thank you so much for the roses. Oh, I feel so much love today. Thank you, guys. This is your favorite deck so far. Well, my friend, you have more fun coming because I just ordered some more decks because I've had these for so long. The pictures, I need new, fresh pictures because that's what sparks. Like when I'm reading this, I say this right here, but I'm really getting the messages because Spirit's talking to me off of all this stuff on here. So sometimes I've read these cards so much that I need a new. That's why they made different kind of tarot decks with all these different kind of pictures. Because if you're an intuitive reader, you're intuitively reading off that. Spirit's putting a whole story here for you. So stop holding on to things Spirit's trying to take away from you. Spirit's not trying to be the mean kid on the playground and steal your toy. Spirit wants you to know that if it's taken away from you, it's not meant for you. And we were just talking about that earlier. Stop trying to bring your exes back. They're not meant for you. And when you bring them back the second time, that's when the worst heartbreak comes in. Because now you're aware of it, and then you feel even stupider when you fell for it. That's another reason not to bring your ex in. So let everything that wants to go, go, and everything that wants to come, come. And have trust. There's that monarch butterfly. That if you see that is your sign today that Spirit is with you. If you know about Dia de los Muertos, which is going to be coming up soon, it's in Mexico. It's the Day of the Dead. Coco tells you all about it in the Disney movie. But it basically, that's when the forest, okay, it's like in Colombia or something, the forest fills up with billions of these monarch butterflies for 2 days. It only happens for Dia de los Muertos. Look this up, guys. And then after the celebration is over in Mexico, the whole forest is gone. There's so many, it's like thick. Like it looks like branches. There's so many monarch butterflies, and it's like on my bucket list of things that I want to do before I die, because it's such a magical thing. They don't know how this happens. They don't know. The scientists don't know why all these butterflies show up in that particular spot, but they're starting to put the connection of it has to be the passed over energy of the loved ones reincarnating into butterflies to come and visit. Because Dia de los Muertos is about having, the altar and the food and celebrating your passed over loved ones. So very soon, that would be phenomenal to see. Yes, I saw it on TV and I was like, I got to see this in person. There are a few things, they say don't make a bucket list because that's like, you're not dying yet, but I don't know what else to call it, my adventure list. But there's a few things that I want to do, kind of like I want to go to Ben and Jerry's ice cream factory and go get the tour. And I want to eat some ice cream off the ice cream floor. These are things that make me happy. I'm a very simple person. And look, I'm just keeping it real. I love this shirt. This is my favorite one because I'm a Pisces and we always keep it real. So, num, 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 num. Yes. Yes, a little Cherry Garcia in my life. Yes, so trust. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you to know exactly how to handle them. So, no, you got to have the right action along with trust to make your manifestations come in for you. But you got to stop holding on to things God is asking you to let go of. Straight up, your creator is asking you, let go of this. There's something better. We're like, no, this crusty dude is the only dude that I can ever have in my life. No. When you start falling into this of, I'm going to take back this toxic person because they're the only one, I want you to do a little law of averages in your head and ask yourself, maybe look it up, how many. Let's just see. We're going to look something up just a second so I can prove my point. As of currently, there are 7.8 billion humans on this earth. You're telling me out of 7.8 billion people, you need to take that crusty Trevor back, who cheated on you and made you sit and cry, ruined your $50 makeup, and made you gain weight because you got your feelings hurt and you went and ate ice cream for a month and snacked on donuts because it felt better. You're telling me out of 7.8 billion people, this is your only option of friend or romantic partner. This is what I really want to drive home to you guys, because this is really important. I feel the theme of this whole live today has been, and also there's a planet called Chiron that is in retrograde, if you know about astrology. So currently, a Mercury retrograde is coming up like next week, which is the planet of communication. So that's going to be messed up for about a month. Mercury retrograde is where all the stuff from your past starts coming up, because you're not supposed to make any new decisions, any new purchases. You're supposed to take time during this time and make closure for the past. If you do anything new, start anything new during Mercury retrograde, it all comes undone because it's in retrograde. So it makes the planet look like it's spinning backwards. And when it goes back, going in and forward, all that stuff that happened that you did in Mercury retrograde has to be redone again. That's why you don't start new stuff. That's the easiest way to explain it. But Chiron is in, I think that's the name of, I think it's Chyron, something like that. I'm still learning astrology, like the meat and potatoes of it. But ultimately, I found out that planet is in retrograde right now. causing us to do almost like a Mercury retrograde. It's bringing all this stuff. So if you've been feeling like all this stuff from your childhood's really starting to surface, it's because it's supposed to. So don't suppress it down. Even in retrograde, you might just be sitting there and all of a sudden be hit with a memory from 20 years ago and start crying. Cry. Don't push it down, because Spirit's doing this. So it's like to shake you up, to get it out, to make space for new. But most of us don't look that way, and then we just get mad at the universe and say, bad universe, you just hate me. Why do you make me feel so bad? Because everybody feels terrible during retrograde if they're not healed. And then you got the other fun narcissist healers that walk around and say, oh, I don't know why everybody hates retrograde so much. I love it. I'm perfect. Yeah, right. You're crying and I've tried every time. You have to be very grounded and balanced. You can make it through Mercury retrograde. Like, it doesn't have to be toxic and ugly, but don't tell me you just skeeted through Mercury retrograde and nothing affected you, because I'm going to call it how I see it, because I know that I've had to make it, you have to make a conscious awareness that this is Mercury retrograde and to not go with these thoughts. Because if not, they will empower. Because last time, this just happened about 4 or 5 months ago, we went into retrograde, and we're having 4 this year, by the way. I think it's usually only 3. I was with a toothache, a bad roommate, and decided, and then I was fighting with my guy, and so all of this ended up, I was having dreams of like 20 years ago of stuff that I thought, of people that I thought I closed stuff up, but nope, I hadn't fully learned everything, and so every time I went to sleep, I had dreams about this stuff I needed to take care of these toxic people and these memories I needed to release. And then I've got my toothache, and then I've got the fighting with everybody around me, and it was a good time. So know that, and but I was like, also had a little bit of faith that it would all be soon over, and I was like, and you'll see on my TikTok, please make retrograde end. I'm tired. And then when you get out of it, there's about a week period of transition too. So if you guys want to know more about that, definitely come schedule a session with me and check, or I can definitely give you a Mercury retrograde reading. And that's a good time. It's to consciously, it's like making us deal with our stuff, because we can't run away from it. It comes up by itself. Just started of the rise of the Kundalini, a study of astrology. Yes, that's a lot of peeps, LOL. That would be phenomenal. Yeah, so definitely no Mercury retrogrades coming up, and it lasts for about a week. So, but they're showing you liberation. So the truth will set you free. If you're going through this, please come visit my page and get support if you need it, or schedule yourself a reading. Don't be very gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up during Mercury retrograde. Common things is that your communication is going to be jacked up. Things that you want to say are going to come out wrong. So be very mindful with your words, because if not, you'll get into unnecessary conflicts. Or you backing up your data is very important, especially during that time, because technology failures and travel are huge. Communication, anything to do with communication, travel, and technology, always find a way to mess up during retrograde. So if you are mindful of these things, like I said, if you're prepared mentally to go into this, it's not so bad. But it's still not, you're not going to tell me, because this is what this lady used to tell me when I first started. She was an angel intuitive too. I don't know what kind of angel she was though, because she was kind of rude every time I talked to her, and she was so condescending, and she'd be like, oh, well, my retrograde's going just fine. Everyone out there who's having a hard time, I guess you need to do your self-love work, and you're not doing a good enough job on it. And if you healed all your stuff, then you wouldn't be going through this. I was like, well, that's encouraging. Thank you. Because see, I know the reason why things are happening, but the reason why I'm a different kind of angel reader is because I'm not going to point out the obvious because my name's not Captain Obvious. I do point out the obvious, but I also help you to, well, here's the obvious of what's going on, but let's show you the deeper meaning behind the obvious. That's what I do. So yeah, my Mercury is Aquarius, so still lots of healing going on with new things coming all the time. Wow, yeah. I don't know. I forgot what my Mercury is in. I think it's in Pisces, and that makes it even worse because Pisces already have a problem communicating. All right, my friend, I didn't forget about you, so let's see. Like fine wine, let's see what message Spirit has for you. And welcome to my reading. We're all going in the depths of our inner child today. I feel like there's some inner child healing that needs to go on. Don't beat yourself up so much, is Spirit saying, and allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. A lot of times our inner child wounds, we don't realize that things that happened in our childhood roll over to our adulthood, and we don't know the terms and titles for them. So here's one. If you deal with a lot of toxic relationships and people, and you wonder why you keep bringing them in or why you can't get out of them, know that one thing children do is mask. Masking is when a child comes up to their parent saying they're having a bad day, and that parent's losing its mind and starts yelling at the child and getting all crazy. And then the parent's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And the child goes, that's okay, it's okay, it's all right. And starts apologizing and then starts making it their fault. That is one of the biggest inner child wounds that we bring into, and that's the biggest one I brought into, is masking. So when I came into as an adult, I tolerated a bunch of BS that I shouldn't have tolerated. It should have been like, no, I don't even think so. Why do you feel even validated to even do that in front of me? But I didn't do that for a lot, and people got away with a lot of stuff. Pamela. So this is for you, Pamela. Definitely your inner child, and let's see. And, you know, a way to go and heal those inner wounds is when you have a thought come in from like a trauma or whatever comes through. Say you had a moment when you remembered you messed up your mom's kitchen and you threw flour. The beaters went everywhere and flour went all on the walls and batter was everywhere, you know. Those kind of things. Go, and your mom screamed at you and told you can never cook in the kitchen again. That's when you go with your adult self. You close your eyes and you go with your adult self and you go to that same place in your mind and you give your inner child, you rescue your inner child. You go there, and I've went down to starting since I was a baby, the first memory I could remember, all the way up. I'm about to my mid-20s now. That I've went and rescued. That's what I figured out why my inner child wasn't healing, because it's sitting there. That's your inner child. That's your teenager. That's the 7-year-old you. That's the one that's sitting there. That's like, holy cow, why am I getting yelled at? Why am I getting blamed for everything? I'm sorry. If I knew more, I could do it. And your older self's got to go back there and say, I love you. I'm sorry. Or if you had something really bad happen, have your older self go back and rescue you and tell your younger self in that moment, when you think of it in your mind, that I'm here to protect you. Nobody will ever hurt you like that again. Because a lot of times people hurt us when we were a child, and that carries on, and then we have trust issues. Oh my God, sometimes it's so hard to deal with these situations even as an adult. Yes. And you definitely start taking it, like I said, start going back and when something comes up in your mind, instead of beating yourself up for it, pause, take that moment and go, where's this coming from? Why do I feel so bad about this? Why am I apologizing? Was this my fault? Am I dealing with a narcissist? Are they making my reality delusional and triangulating and making up this whole story that didn't even happen, when in fact it never happened that way and I wasn't the bad guy? And so therefore I was 7, and therefore I was 7. And until age of 18, I really give everyone a pass under 18, because our brains are developing. So if you've had trauma happen really early, or say you got into substances really early, your brain stopped growing from that age. So mentally, some of us are still 12 years old, and it shows on some people. But that's okay, because it's something that we can heal. And it's okay to be, a fun 12-year-old, but it is not okay to be that sad, broken down 12-year-old, because now you have the power to save yourself and defend yourself and not let anyone hurt you anymore. Sort of a convenient mode sometimes. I'm wanted for convenience, yes. And that's being a people pleaser, and that's about boundaries. And I even made a video. It's if I choose to. I'm not doing nothing if I choose to. And also my favorite TikToker on here, I can't think of his name, K. What's his name, K? I do his video. I do a lot of his videos. I can't think of his name now. His last name's K. And he's a coach, but he's so silly. But he's got facts in it too. So I've people pleased my whole life. I'm a Pisces. We are the best people pleasers in the world. But at some point, when I got left holding the bag, and eventually when I held that bag too much and I got left in my feelings and my emotions, it took enough for me to hit a point that I was like, I don't want to feel this way no more. I'm sorry you hurt, but guess what? If it doesn't vibe with me, I'm not doing it, and period. Because that's called protecting your energy. I'm not going to do stuff out of convenience for you. I've been doing stuff out of convenience my whole life, and you know what I got? They didn't care. They moved on to the next person that would be convenience. Don't do stuff out of convenience for people. And if they're not going to, please don't threaten me with not being around me if I don't do something for you. Bye. Don't be around me, because I don't keep trolls around me, because it's an equal give and take. We equally give and take in my friendships and my relationships now. And if you can't do that, you can join my mom. I tell people, if I can cut off my own mother that gave me birth, that I truly, truly love, but because she has hurt me and been a covert narcissist for so many years, and she's toxic, and when I tried to really just break it down and say, let's break this down, let's move forward, let's heal, she called me crazy. And I'm telling you, my dad passed, and my mom, that was her last little straw of me being a people pleaser. And if I can't have those two people in my life, what makes you so special that I need to put out extra energy for you, to do something convenient for you? That's what I gotta say about that. Gosh, you have to with your mom. You have that with him. Yep, I got that too. I haven't spoke to my mom in 2 years, because on my 40th, not on my birthday, thank God, but on my around my birthday, the week of my 40th birthday, and COVID was hitting, I called up my mom and said I was truly in a moment of, I wanted my mom, because I used to always talk to her all the time. But I found out she's just dumping her negative energy on me, and I'm not a dumping ground either. And I told her, I texted her, wanted to have this whole conversation. First thing she did is I tried to talk to her, and she had her man around her. And I told her to be alone, because I said, I need to talk to you alone, mother-daughter stuff. And then when she couldn't do that because I heard him in the background. I was like, well, nosy, this isn't you met my mom when you were 30, when I was 30. I was 29. Like, you really don't need to be a part of this conversation. And so then I finally just decided I'm just going to text how I feel, and I didn't put anything bad. I really thought this out. I've probably repeated this before, but I did this, and I got the reaction out of the whole response out of the whole like text message that was 9 million years long was that that's okay. At 40 years old, I had a breakdown too, and you're just having a midlife crisis and you'll be better. And that was the last insult that I'm going to take from this lady who has gotten me hit because her abusive boyfriend pushed her down a flight of stairs. And I actually seen it to catch her, to go up there to start fighting this man. And he picked up a pole and hit me with it. Then the cops came, and he was such a bad person that he even paid off them and somehow got out of his court appearance because he just went and rolled on some people. And my mom stayed with him, by the way, after that. She put me in a lot of predicaments, and I stood by her side. I'm still remembering the 5-year-old me squatting in my driveway with my mom behind her car because my dad's on the rampage and he's drunk, and we're looking to see if he's coming through the darkness because he turned off all the lights, so it'd be a surprise. And we didn't know if he was inside the house, outside the house, and we needed to go, but we didn't want to get in the car. We need to make sure there was distance. And I remember peeing myself on the driveway that day because I was that scared that that man was going to come. And I saw my dad with the 2x4 breaking our kitchen up, singing to Black Crowes, I'm Hard to Handle Now. Yeah, that song was triggering for a while. Every time that came on in the car with him, I was like, I hope he doesn't remember what he was doing last time we played that song. Yeah. That's probably why I don't listen to 60s rock, because there's a lot of memories attached to that. So if I do that, she will flip. So that is personal choice, my friend. And you have the power to choose, but society is the one that says we have to talk to our parents and we have to have this relationship. Well, fine. I will have a relationship with my mom. I will love her. But if you keep coming over and you're my friend and you keep coming and punching me in my face, I'm probably not going to hang out with you and bring you over for Sunday dinners. So I started with distance, and I've been doing this about 5 years because I started with distancing her and, cutting the communication gradually, and it kept getting worse. And she became more toxic and kept being more brutal to me. And I kept warning her. And then when she told me that her problem is I act like my dad and I look like her, and she can't handle it. And my dad died when she was 16, and that was her abuser. So that's why I get treated this way, because she's always had a problem with the way that I acted because I act like my dad. Well, you should pick your baby's dad's better, I guess, if you don't want that. But you can't scrutinize your child because you got with some belligerent a-hole, okay? You can't make that your kid's problem. You got to love I proof because I have a kid that I got with a belligerent a-hole, lived out my mom's karmic lesson. But you know what? That 11-year-old, I'm dealing with her differently. And when she starts doing things that clearly are coming from her dad, clearly his patterns, instead of me reacting to it, I try to break it, dissect it, and try to come with more love to her instead of reacting. So you have a toxic karmic relationship, and know that these parents that we have here are also part of a contract that we decided we all came together and had a meeting and said we're all going to do this together because we trusted these people and loved them. In past lives, though, if you want, I'm going to show you something fun. These are the past life cards. There's a karmic, you need to get a past life reading and understand these lessons are coming with your mom from many, many lifetimes before. And we'll see what one lesson is that I can show you that's coming. I'm sorry that happened to you. Thank you, Shell Bell. You never know. I have all kinds of stories. I am definitely an angel intuitive, and I notice light workers, we have the craziest stories. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. I could make movies all day long because the stuff that I've happened is not even fictional. Like fine wine, you're not your burden. Put it down, love. Yes. Yeah, definitely. A lot of us, you'll notice a lot of us are going through this toxic parenting stuff, and it's about you healing this wound from many centuries ago, many past lifetimes before. But ultimately, and it's also a self-love thing, because I have a big karmic lesson of self-love, and it's working as a catalyst for you to be able to stand in your power and put up your boundaries and what you will and won't tolerate. So very, very important. Let's see what angels, could you please tell like fine wine if I'm sorry, I forgot your name here. Pamela. Will you please tell Pamela what her past life lessons are with her mom? One is being a healer, and one is leaving and traveling. So it's like you were a traveling healer. And imprisonment or slavery. These are past life connections that you've actually had. And let me see. I'm going to read something to you on the guidebook on these. All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to tell you this. If you can, that was massive. Give me 2 seconds. I hope you're still on here like fine wine. I'm going to tell you this, but I gotta go real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had one too many cups of coffee. I was just like, I can't even try, because I would be just sitting here jumping up and down, and it would not be good. So, hello, Priscilla. So, I hope, like fine wine, I hope you're still in here, because I want to share this message with you. Hello, Angie. So imprisonment, enslavement. This card signifies you spent time imprisoned or in slavery. Your rights were taken from you, as well as your dignity and freedom. You are free now, but still may harbor fears related to that lifetime. For example, you may feel claustrophobic in confined spaces or airplanes. You may have developed a form of Stockholm syndrome, where you feel empathetic toward those that abuse you. If you've ever seen Beauty and the Beast, that is a classic Stockholm Syndrome. So on the other hand, your experiences can also make you feel exquisitely compassionate towards those who suffer. You may devote yourself to defending underdogs and bringing more love and justice to the world. To heal any residual fears from that previous lifetime, remember the details of the past life to loosen the shackles and free yourself from the symptoms. And that's crazy because we were just talking about releasing the shackles from you. Channel your altruistic feelings and tendencies. Altruistic means unselfish, basically. And tendencies into helping society. Acts of kindness and compassion heal the individual as well. So it's like you have a trauma bonding because of your past life of imprisonment and slavery. You actually have, that's why you tolerate your mom not being nice to you, and you just tolerate it because you've gradually over the years formed a Stockholm syndrome of thinking it's like love, pain is love. That's basically what I'm hearing. Pain is love. And so you've learned if people give you pain, that shows that they love you. And unfortunately, you're still a prisoner in your mind. And this is like deep down in the DNA of you too. And then health, it says your relationship to health and healing is influenced by other lifetimes. You may be suffering from a physical problem that was inflicted upon you during your last life. Perhaps you reincarnated so quickly that you didn't have time to deal with the underlying issues. Your physical health has caused you hardship, yet it has also taught you a deeper level of compassion than you could have learned in a healthy body. You've also developed healing skills that can benefit others. In fact, you may already know that you're a healer. This knowledge was acquired in previous lifetimes when you performed healings for others. So back then, your earthly needs were likely taken care of by the community. So you may struggle with the idea of charging money for healing work in this life. And it's helpful to know that in this current Western society, everyone must charge for their work, including those who provide spiritually based services. So that is, you had some health conditions and you know, probably because you were imprisoned. And I feel like you got sick when you were in there too, and you weren't very taken care of. Maybe you guys were prisoners together. I'm feeling like you guys were partners together. And then this leaving and traveling, that's why you aren't able to tell her, no, Mom, this ain't working, because you got the leaving and traveling a part of it too. You drew this, this is a card representing old patterns spanning several lifetimes that involve travel and leaving. You may notice in this lifetime that you are a vagabond of sorts and want to be continually be moving. You may wish to travel often or seek out a career in which you do so. You may also tend to move to new homes frequently. You develop this propensity for leaving and movement out of necessity during your lives as a nomad or Bedouin, Bedouin, Bedouin. I've never heard that word. Your relationships may have also involved you leaving your partner or being left by a partner who traveled. This kind of movement is impacting the situation that you're inquiring about today. I'm almost feeling like your mom was a nurse back in the day or something, and you were a prisoner. That I feel like that's one of them. But I feel like you have this abandonment issue because you were left there, and you weren't. Like, people said that they were there for you, but they really weren't. It was just all talk. Kind of like Beauty and the Beast. Like, You kidnapped me, sir. You locked me up in this castle. Now you want to marry me and you love me? Weird, yeah, like, but that's why they do prisoners the way they do, because it's to beat them down mentally, so they don't have any control. Very, very interesting. I have to go. I'm so glad to see you today. Be blessed. Be blessed. Michelle, I'm about to go too. Wow, that was massive. Just reading. Oh my God, sometimes it's hard to deal with. So I hope you were here, my friend, to hear this reading, because I definitely feel that that's why this is something you need to heal. You're gonna have to come to boundaries and just try to heal this. And if your mom's not willing to listen, then you're going to have to heal it within yourself. But be aware of that's why you're constantly feeling like fight or flight, because you went through a period of literally being like a slave. I feel like you were a slave to your mom in the past at one point. Maybe she was like a nurse or a doctor and you were her slave. I don't know. I feel like that's coming in too. I feel like you were her son in a past life. Maybe she was your nurse. I don't know. I just keep feeling this feeling that she was a nurse in your past life. And then I'm seeing another thing of like, in another past life that she like worked on the plantation that you, she was like the slave owner or whatever. And you were her prisoner. Or you were on something like that. I'm definitely seeing that. So that is fun. I love these because they're very interesting to know what your past life is. And I found out I was an orphan in many past lives, and that's why I'm always feeling like I'm always going to be left high and dry, because I still have to heal that. It's still in my DNA. It doesn't just go away in my mind. That's why it's important to heal this stuff, because it doesn't just go away. It's part of your legacy. It's something that you came down here, and if it just keeps happening, it keeps happening because that's your sign from spirit that it needs to be healed. So I'm going to leave you guys with the chakra reading. Thing. Thank you guys so much for all the roses, the gifts. I feel super blessed today. Check out my reading on my YouTube channel. I do personal readings. You can go link in my bio. I do either readings or intuitive coaching. And I do energy healings. So pick whatever floats your boat, and whatever I can heal you with, help assist heal you with, and give you some support on. I do want to wrap up though, because I meant to read this a while ago and I got sidetracked. So before I read this last chakra message, I want to read a message from Archangel Jophiel. Came in, and yesterday I think I misspoke. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty, beautiful thoughts, and the angel of wisdom and beauty. Okay, so Archangel Jophiel's been showing up a lot, and her aura is a citrine, like a citrine gold, and she's coming to help. She's coming to help bring out your creativity of your mind. She's definitely helping you with, because this whole reading, if you go check it out on my YouTube, it's all about creating this month. Because not necessarily we're going to hit the jackpot this month. It's about, you need to get your third eye, your crown ready. Start balancing your sacral, because Spirit's going to help give you some ideas to help bring upon some manifestations and bring some blessings in your life. So Archangel Jophiel's name means beauty of God, and she can help us shift to a positive mindset. Her mission is to bring beauty to all aspects of life. She can help us to pick out the best outfit to wear and feng shui our environment. She is the Archangel of Optimism, who has us develop a sunny attitude. She is also a help to heal misunderstandings with other people. So you can repeat this prayer. Thank you, Archangel Jophiel, for helping me to always have an optimistic viewpoint and be a joy to be around. And so it is. And that's from Angelic Energies from the UK. And I wanted to just read this prayer. Archangel Jophiel, you can repeat this with me. Archangel Jophiel, please help me beautify my life. Help me bring beauty into the world. Inspire me with beautiful thoughts and divine order. Release me from negative patterns and awaken in me the joy and zest for life. Help me see the simplicity within. Help me bring order to all those places that lack it. Guide me and inspire me with your beautiful light and love. And so it is. Thank you, Archangel Jophiel. So, hello, Jen. Go ahead and leave you guys with that. And that's Archangel Jophiel. If you need an angel of optimism this weekend, definitely call in that angel. What message do we have for these beautiful souls on this Friday, September 2nd? What message shall I leave everybody with? Crazy! This is the message in the reading for the month of September. For the abundance message, psychic development. Psychic development. That is a very big thing you need to pay attention to. And the number 27. This is your third eye chakra. Connecting to our psychic awareness is like having an extra sense. People often refer to it as our sixth sense, and everyone's psychic, including you, and now it's time for you to deepen your psychic abilities. And angels want you to know you could have possibility of a lineage of psychic ancestors, and their gifts could be handed down to you through your bloodline. They want you to know that your intuition is like a muscle, and the more you work with it, the stronger it becomes. This card's a reflection that it's time to start flexing your psychic muscle to discover new wisdom for yourself and others. It's a great time if you want to attend a workshop or, start reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. You need to start with your psychic development because it's a muscle. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. This is also confirmation that you've been working on your psychic abilities, and you are encouraged to keep going for the answers at this time, as more will come through your connection and your higher self. It's a very powerful time of development and learning. Make sure you take time to honor and nurture your gifts and the process of your gifts, and don't try to rush them. There's 6 stages. It depends on who you're talking to, but there's 6 basic stages that I found that you go through in the spiritual awakening process. Find out which stage you're in. Okay. Stop trying to be the best medium or the best reader out there by how many likes and views and readings you can do. Start attaining the knowledge. Really develop yourself. Stop being half on and half off. Stop, have that straight connection. Because a lot of us, we learn it and then just no more learning. And that's not a good psychic spiritual connection, because you're not strengthening anything, you could be way more powerful. It's about a learning process every day, and it's about having a spiritual practice every day, even if it's 30 minutes. There are 24 hours of the day. You can find 30 minutes in your whole day. I personally say an hour, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. If you can only do 30 minutes, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. But you got to do something to connect with your spirits, and you got to start making friends with them. Don't just go over there, ask, and don't say thank you. Because spirit starts divulging stuff to you when you start making a friendship with it. So don't be a toxic friendship to spirit either. Repeat this affirmation. I am deeply connected to my intuition and reclaim my psychic gifts now. And so it is. Hello, Morgan. And mostly have balance. There's that root chakra and the number 6. Holy cow. I was just talking about 15 reduced in numerology is 6. 6 is a number of relationships. Have a relationship with yourself. Balance your yin and yang, your female and your male. Balance yourself first, and then worry about relationships with others. And if you're not getting along with others or family members, know it's about balance, and maybe distance yourself. Take time away, but don't get in fight or flight. You need to balance this, because if you don't get your root chakra balanced, that's when you go in fight or flight, and that's when all the chaos ensues. So thank you so much for being here, beautiful souls. It is 11:10 and it just turned 11:11. What a beautiful synchronicity to end this with. As go check out the readings. Number 11 is part of your numbers for the month of September. Have a wonderful day. Love and light, beautiful souls. Have a great weekend.